What's up, guys? This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Now, if you don't know, I am Tim Gettys.
You hit yourself in the head with the microphone, you idiot. You were trying to do it all cool.
Well, speaking of cool, I'm here with the coolest dudes in video games. Colin Moriarty, Greg Miller.
Hi. It's good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We're going to talk about some video games today.
There
guys.
it is. That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Come back. Bring
Yes.
back the
Yes.
NPR
Yes.
tone.
Yes.
Get rid of this MTV VJ stuff you're doing.
But I'm
Get
so...
back.
That's what I like. I like moving my hands. I like screaming.
I don't
I like
mind.
being
I don't
loud.
mind the rap hands that
Yeah.
people are always giving you in trouble for. The
People
hip hop
give me
hands. That's
hip-hop
what I call
hands.
them. I thought it was just funny that
Jazz
I'd complimented you. On the first two shows, I had complimented you on your NPR tone, and you're going to talk like this, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, like, yesterday on the Game Over Greggy show, you confessed it was because the mics were so loud in your ears that it was, like, reining you in.
Yeah.
And I was like,
even now, it feels weird hearing
now we've
this.
gone back. We've gone back to the good mics to get better audio.
Yeah, exactly. This sounds way better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
We heard you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Thank you for your feedback.
We got people talking shit though that I'm interviewing
On the
you
internet?
guys, and that's one of those things where it's like I am kind of interviewing them.
That's what the
guys.
host does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people used to get mad at me when I started hosting Beyond after being just a second banana on GameScoop and just being a voice on Beyond for so long. They're like, oh, we miss you being crazy. And so you got to sacrifice that at some point when you're the host. If you're hosting, you've got to you're setting other people up to go crazy.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is don't worry, guys. I'm gonna flail my hands around and do a lot of dumb things in many places. I'm gonna try to rein that in.
I'm
just
gonna do a lot
little
of dumb
bit here.
things in many places.
Yeah,
Tim
exactly.
Gettys.
That's what I like to hear.
What's up? But what's really important is the dumb places you can go, like iTunes. I
Nice.
tried to
That's
get
a dumb
Tim
way.
That's a
I
dumb
tried to
place.
do that.
That's a dumb place.
Our show is now on iTunes officially. All the problems are gone. You can search for it. Oh no, you can.
Oh,
it's
as
good.
of right
We
now.
are- as of right now, as of last night, you can go and everything. I promise you is there. The first 2 episodes are up right now.
Right.
Oh, this is great. This
Now,
is so great. You
if-
just search. You can search for Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
Kind of Space Funny. You get both our shows.
Nice.
You can search for Gamescast. We're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the big
Oh,
question,
that's
though. So, of course, I'm going to iTunes. I'm getting it on a Friday. I'm enjoying myself. Of course, I could have had this a week earlier if I went where?
Yes, you could have went to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Yeah.
Threw
Or-
a meatball right down the plate there, Greg.
Exactly. Or kindoffunny.bandcamp.com or vimeo.com/kindoffunny if you wanted to get any of the stuff early.
Yeah. Otherwise, broken down
Otherwise,
topic by topic,
yeah.
day by day.
On
next week.
youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
See, that's the thing, Colin. I've been getting criticism that they like the Gamescast better because Tim doesn't do all the pimps. He doesn't
Yeah.
do all the things.
Well,
you
you-
gotta let the people know. I'm
oh.
sick of answering tweets about where the
Oh, no,
Gamescast is.
well, that's the thing. They'll know now.
Sure.
Now it's everywhere they need to know. The people that are complaining are the people that are upset at me.
And I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah,
I'm complaining.
exactly.
We love you. Thank you for caring about our shit
Yeah.
enough to even
And
tweet
if
us.
you could go to iTunes and go to the Kind of Funny Gamescast and review this, subscribe, go on SoundCloud and do the same thing, that would be super awesome because we're trying to get this off the ground and things are good. Thank you.
I've noticed it's funny because Greg's so used to hosting everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't host this and he doesn't host Colin and Greg and he can't help himself.
Yeah, which is
Like
good. though.
he'll just jump in and start hosting the show. And I'm like that's okay. That's in your blood. It's running through
Yo,
your
fuck
veins,
both y'all.
coursing through your veins.
I wasn't hosting nothing there. I was just giving you the stupid
yeah,
fuck.
but
I
I like
give you
that.
the shill. I'm Shilly McShiel.
Yeah, hey, I'm down for that too. Shilly
Shilly
McShiel.
McShiel.
Thanks for
It's like
letting that
Ally
go,
McBeal.
guys. I hate you so much.
No, that's cool though. You fill in the holes that I could never fill.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's not many of them.
No.
Yeah. All right, guys. First thing we're talking about is the Nintendo Direct that just happened this morning.
Right.
So by the time you guys are hearing this is a little outdated. But guess what? That doesn't matter because that's
commentary
not
isn't
what this
outdated.
show
Yeah,
is
yeah.
about. This show is about us talking about things we like video games.
Yeah.
So a lot of things were announced today. I wouldn't say anything too revolutionary.
Shocking.
No, exactly. But this was we all knew this was going to be a new 3DS focused Direct. And we got a lot about that, including a release date, February 13th, which is pretty soon.
Yeah. So here's what you need to walk me through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the new 3DS. Mm-hmm. I have the original 3DS. I haven't been able to play Smash on that because it's horrible. I can't see. It's too small. It's like a postage stamp.
Yeah.
I saw people online though getting really mad that it's only the new 3DS XL and not the new. What is there? There's another. So in between the 3DS I have, there was a 3DS bigger and then a 3DS XL.
No.
So
No,
what
no.
the fuck are they
So
talking about?
There's the original 3DS,
Uh-huh.
and then there was the 3DS XL.
Yeah.
And then now there's new versions of both of those in
Okay.
Japan.
And they're coming to Europe too, right? One of those is coming to Europe.
Yes. But both of them are already in Japan.
Okay.
What they add is it's faster GPU and all
Right,
that stuff.
and they got the
then
stick, the
little-
C-stick
C-stick
thing.
and stuff, and it has way better viewing angles.
Okay.
Like, it's insane how much better it is. And they decided not to release the new 3DS in America. It's just the new 3DS XL.
See, I didn't know there was a new.
I just like the viewing angle thing because it's like, are people playing their handheld like this?
Well, the 3D. It's the 3D issue.
Yeah, but does anyone even use the 3D? They should just get rid of that.
The 3D should be removed.
Jesus
God
almighty.
I've often thought about super gluing it down because
Uh-huh.
it's annoying when I'm playing something and I bump it and it kicks up. I'm like, oh god.
Well,
no.
that's the point. Is that won't happen anymore? They say
Why?
because the viewing angles.
No, I'm gonna make sure I don't ever fucking turn it on. That's why it's not gonna happen.
I haven't
Well,
met
there you
anyone.
go.
I haven't
There's
met
that
anyone
too.
that uses that 3D on there.
Here's the thing: the 3D, when it's used in the gameplay, it's good. Like for example, Super Mario 3D Land, it's awesome with the 3D. Smash Bros with the 3D, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No,
No, that's not what you want.
No one
That's
got
not
time
what
for
you
that.
Hurts my
Ain't
eyes.
nobody got time for that.
But yeah, but Greg, people are upset about this. I don't know why. Why would they still get? Your problem is the screen size.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would get a 3DS over an XL.
I didn't even realize that was still an option. I thought the XL was now the standard.
It
In America, it is,
essentially
right?
is. It's not. I mean, no.
There's still a 3DS
Oh,
in
yeah.
America.
In
Is it the one
America-
I have, the little red
Yeah,
guy? That
yeah.
Okay. And so this is the same red guy, just in the.
with the C stick.
That's dumb. Nobody buy that. I
Well,
own that
yeah.
system. Don't buy that.
They're not putting it in America.
Good. Well, good. I'm glad
Yeah, exactly.
Nintendo's making the choice. Now,
It's because they have inventory to sell through. You have to assume.
Well, I mean, it's all new colors and stuff. Something weird that Nintendo does is they always release the new ones, and then they release like special editions that are super cool looking of the older version.
well, that's what they were doing leading up to this one. Just when they had me on the ropes, I'm like, maybe I will buy a 3DS XL. I can't see anything on this. They're like, oh, guess what? New 3DS is coming with the C stick. I'm like, I'll buy that. And then they're like, guess what? 3DS that looks like an NES. And I'm like,
so
wait, that's
confusing.
not the new one? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Weird.
just
I
what are you
don't-
doing?
The bigger thing that I read, I haven't read any of these stories yet, just apart from headlines, or
We're
whatever.
gonna
But
go through them all.
apparently, the 3DS, the 3DS XL, I guess in America doesn't come with a power brick or
oh,
something like that.
okay, yeah, that's the weirdest thing about this.
Are you kidding me?
No power.
What
brick,
the hell? What? Like that's so
so
weird.
weird.
It
That's
is weird.
so weird.
I think they're just assuming that it's all people upgrading.
But that's
They
such a
shouldn't
dumb
make that
It is.
assumption.
Oh, I know. Hey, it's Nintendo. They make some weird assumptions
God.
sometimes, and this is one of them. So it's $200, which honestly, it's worth it. You should do it. You should upgrade, Greg.
I'm going to.
Good.
But there's a few things that grind my gears on this one, all right? Shutting the computer for full focus. Number one, this power brick business.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's so.
I
You
like
have-
having two
but
power
you-
bricks.
oh.
What if I traded mine
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
What if I traded this in? What if I was just a kid who was like, oh, that 3DS looks awesome, and you go and buy it? There's going to be people who get
Not
screwed
to
over on
defend
this.
them, because I'm trust me, I'm on your guys' side here. But it's like, okay, Amazon, $5.
Sure, but this is very much
So
like
it's
what we're talking about with
$205.
this is what we're talking about with Christmas. You know what I mean? When the PlayStation Network down and the Xbox One was down and all that stuff. You get home, you turn the system on, and then you realize you need something else.
Yeah.
like
It's
mother
bullshit.
fucker. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's the bigger thing is if it's 200, the XL's $200 USD. So, and the brick is $5 on Amazon.
It's probably a little.
I'm
bit
sure.
more.
I'm sure it's way
Probably
more than that.
more
let's
than
let's
that.
say it's 20 because it's probably expensive. Like $19.99. That costs Nintendo $2 to make, probably in parts and labor or whatever. They just put it in the fucking box.
Yeah.
You know, like I really don't understand.
agree. No, totally.
That's like such a stupid assumption. Sony should make that assumption with Vita that people that are upgrading to Vita Slim are Vita owners already because no one's buying the Vita. That's like that would be annoying if that didn't come with a power brick, but that would actually make more sense. 3DS is proliferated, and there are people that are interested in buying this platform.
I'd still be
It's
furious
so- it's
if I
so-
opened my Vita and there was no power brick. But the problem there, of course, is that it uses the micro SD or not SD micro USB. So as long if it didn't come with a power brick, I know at least I have those laying around the house. I don't have Nintendo still uses a proprietary power charger, right?
So weird.
This thing, it's gonna because if it's a 3DS one, it's still a little whatever cube one that reminds me of the containment unit. But
Well,
like,
so here's the other thing though: is the 3DS and the DS, not the original DS, but the later DS models, which is pretty much what everyone has.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the
Okay.
same charger. So it's like you probably do have one.
I understand that probably you do, but I still think there's a lot of people who are gonna jump on this that don't.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
Hey, I'm with you.
And that's not gonna be well explained, I bet.
Yeah.
Unless-
Oh Lord.
You're gonna have some good GameStop employees.
Yeah. Grandma's gonna be upset.
She won't care.
Oh, she's gonna
Jimmy will
care.
be
Well,
upset.
yeah, little
Grandma
Jimmy's
will have
gonna be
another
upset.
nip of the good stuff and not care at all. Here's my second problem with this Nintendo 3DS announcement stuff today. Again, yes, I want to buy one. I want to play Majora's Mask. So my world, Colin, it all comes together right here, and they're like, oh, guess what? New 3DS XL comes and it's branded with Majora's Mask. It's awesome. It's amazing. In America, it doesn't come with the game. What the fuck? Are you kidding? In Europe, it comes pre-installed on the system.
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah, that's another weird
It's really
thing.
pretty though.
It is really pretty. Don't get me wrong. And again, that's the one I'll go for because I want to get a new 3DS anyway. But it's like,
yeah. Well, see, here's the thing though, Greg. This could have been way, way worse than it is because what I was just saying about them announcing new 3DSs and then making special editions of old ones.
Yeah.
This is like one of the first times where the day that the new 3DS comes out, which is February 13th, we are also getting a special edition Majora's Mask one. The fact that this isn't a Majora's Mask special edition of the original DS, we should be happy about that.
True, that's a good
so
point.
I'm pretty. It looks cool.
Okay.
Now the other thing that that the new
Sold me
3DS
right
has is it has the NFC for amiibos.
right.
So we're gonna get an update for Smash Bros. So that we can use the amiibos on the new 3DS, not on the 3DS we
Of
already
course.
have.
And here's your chance to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's your chance to upgrade and not be mad about your power brick.
Eventually, there's going to be a little adapter for the older 3DSs, but there was no news of that today.
Right.
We'll see. They announced Wave 4 of the Smash Bros. Amiibos,
That's
which include Lucina, Wario, Pac-Man, Ness, and Charizard.
You're excited for Charizard.
I'm excited for Charizard. I'm excited for a couple of these.
How many
Lucina,
amiibos do you
Charizard.
own? You're the Nintendo fanboy at the table.
Yeah, I only own one.
Okay,
and
which one?
Alexis got me Peach for
Oh.
Christmas because that's her character and she wants me to be able to play against her.
Okay.
It's cute, you know.
Yeah.
But I've been upset because the one that I want is Zero Suit Samus. And they're
yeah.
they're holding out on me.
Of course they are.
Maybe Wave 5. We'll see. They also, so this is in addition to Wave 3 that was announced recently that had Mega Man, Shulk, Toon Link, Sonic, Meta Knight, Lucario, Rosalina, Bowser, Sheik, and Ike.
That's a good lineup.
That's a big wave.
Mega Man,
I'm assuming you're getting Mega Man?
Greg bought it for me actually, or
Christmas.
pre-ordered it for me.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm a good
there
friend.
you go.
I just want
Grow
the
up.
action figure. I'm not going to use it. as an
It's like the
amiibo.
Mario I got. I was like, cool, and I just put it on the
Yeah,
thing and never ever
exactly.
used it.
So they also announced a Super Mario Bros. Set of amiibos for use with Mario Party 10. This is interesting because
Did
this
they
is
show dry bones?
no.
Motherfucker!
It's the normal dudes you'd expect, like Toad, Mario, Peach, Luigi. Bowser.
Mario's already got one.
Yeah,
Luigi's
I know.
already got one.
So this is the thing. This is the first set that's not Smash Bros. This is a Mario Bros. Set.
Is it 8-bit Mario? Because that'd be cool.
No, I don't think they showed him.
Okay.
From what I saw on the IGNs.com.
IGN.com.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like now, there's just another set of amiibos that work with Mario Party. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but from what I
No, but they work in everything.
yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like the Mario will be able to. You can just get different Marios.
So the Mario that works with Mario Party can work with Smash Brothers, but the Mario that works with Smash Brothers will not work with Mario Party.
I'm assuming it will. Oh, no, actually, it will.
I
It
would have,
will.
if you would have asked me last night, will the new 3DS come with a charging cable? I would have said, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would have assumed that as
So
well.
this whole
I don't know
Amiibo
what
thing,
the
they're kind
hell.
of learning as we go. And again, I don't have all the facts on this.
Sure,
just
this
from-
is all breaking news.
Exactly.
Nintendo's really good at giving out piecemeal information.
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
they revealed the new console and only showed the controller and no one knew what the fuck was happening.
Is this a console?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a feeling from what they've explained before, it's that the characters will work multi-game, and it's just different toys.
The
that you
different
can get.
iterations of the
Yeah.
same character. Okay.
So I think that's okay. I'm not too
that's
upset.
fine. I'm
with
sure
that.
collectors will like that.
Yeah. They also talked about Amiibo functionality in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse and Captain Toad and stuff like that. The biggest one was Codename Steam, which is a new 3DS strategy game coming out.
Which looks awesome, made by one guy. He's a totally cool developer. I want to play that one.
Oh, cool.
He was a really cool dude. I met him at GDC, I think, a few years ago. Maybe PAX.
You can use the different Fire Emblem Amiibo characters from Smash Bros, which now include Robin, Lucina, Ike, and Marth.
So the same characters 4 times. They're all Fire Emblem characters. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There
Yeah,
you
they're
go.
all-
Colin's
this is
on a
it.
damn roll here. Only 2 of them are slightly similar.
Too many Fire Emblem
Yeah,
characters.
yeah. I love Fire Emblem.
No, Fire Emblem's
A lot
great.
of people
It's-
do. No, I saw a pair tweeting about it today. How he's gonna buy
So-
this Fire Emblem crap.
The most exciting thing about this is the biggest announcement for me today. A new Fire Emblem game for the 3DS.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Oh, I'm so
That's
excited.
a BFD
Fire
right
Emblem is woo.
They didn't date it though, right?
No, they didn't date it, and it was weird. They showed a trailer for it, which was very similar to the intro movie in the Awakening game for 3DS, where it was like this beautiful cinematic thing, but it didn't really show anything. There's some gameplay in it and stuff, but there's a lot of questions here. Like it looks like an entire new cast. It's a traditional Fire Emblem game, but sometimes they'll do like a sequel. It's like Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
where it's like every time it's different. But some of the games, like 9 and 10, were in the same universe and stuff. And usually, I would have assumed they were going to continue the story from Awakening
Right.
into this. So to see that they're not doing that, it's cool. I'm excited for this. The Fire Emblem game on 3DS is definitely my favorite game on the system. So this is good. I'm a little upset we didn't get any news on the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah,
Wii U game.
there's a lot of people that think that game's kind of in hell right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal with that game is. It was announced a long time ago.
They announced it like a year ago. and we haven't heard anything since.
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
yeah, it's I really want that because Fire Emblem on Wii U is going to be legit.
Who's I mean, what side is developing the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem anyway? Is it like Nintendo's second party or first party, or is it going to be Atlas?
I think it's Atlas. Yeah. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm just
They're quoting you right now.
yeah. They can quote me all they want. So Majora's Mask DLC announced for Hyrule Warriors with Tingle.
Oh, Tingle.
You get to play as Tingle.
Back
my
and
dude.
better
Attacks
than
with his
ever.
balloons.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you play a lot of Hyrule Warriors?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a little of the Hyrule Warriors. It's fun.
It's Dynasty Warriors, so
Yeah.
it's just that, like, turn your brain off fun. There's
Yeah,
run around,
exactly.
smash stuff, and collect.
That's cool.
Kill this many people. You did it. Good job.
Yeah. I feel like it gets way too much hate because people are like, oh, this is stupid. This isn't the Zelda I want. It's like,
Well,
not supposed
no
to.
shit, it isn't the
it's
Zelda
not
you want.
supposed to be the
It's
Zelda.
It's a
Dinosaur.
Musou. Like that's what it is. It's a lot of people have that problem with a lot. I mean, when the new Dragon Quest was announced for PS4, and I think it's only PS4. It's a Musou too, and it's like this is what Omega Force does. This is their thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to get like a different game out of them.
Yeah.
So if you're expecting something different, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, and it looked nice. Like it was pretty fun to look at. Like lots of colors.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Also, Young Link is another DLC character with the Fierce Deity mask. So that's
Nice.
something. Yeah,
He's gonna be
I
small.
like that the game has DLC. Like I like that it's been continuously updated. And that
You just don't want to play any of the DLC or play the game.
Yeah, no, but exactly, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my thing. But like, I'm happy that they're
That's
actually
being supported.
consistently. Like during these directs, they keep announcing new stuff and they
Sure.
keep putting new stuff into it. And like, I mean, there's a lot of characters in that game. They got to Tingle. Cool. Good for them.
I mean, that's the interesting thing we always talk about with Nintendo, right? You buy that console for the first-party games and the exclusives and everything you want, right? And so while they're off making the next Metroid and the next Zelda and whatever else they're working on, right, you have to partner with people who will continue a pipeline of, hey, man, we got a Majora's Mask stuff over here now.
Yeah.
Come on back to this game.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give this game a try?
And that's something really cool I found with Nintendo recently. There's a lot of things to hate about them, but during the directs, I like their directs. I like that we get mini E3s like every couple months.
Yeah, that is
No,
cool.
it's very cool.
And it's really cool that they kind of like link together in a lot of ways. Like they've used Smash Bros for the past 2 years to like kind of be the through line with all of them, where
Yeah.
it's like, here's new announcements and here's how it relates to Smash, or they'll announce a new character and here's his game and stuff like that. And right now they're kind of using Majora's Mask to do that.
Yeah.
Where it's like Majora's Mask and the new 3DS have been the theme of the last couple directs, and it's like now we're getting Majora's Mask DLC for Hyrule Warriors. It's like, cool. Thanks, guys. It makes you feel like you're investing in the ecosystem.
Right.
I'm a fan of ecosystems.
You love
Ooh,
ecosystems.
love them.
You love Biodome as well.
Biodome.
It's a fine movie.
Yes.
Fruit at the bottom, waiting to be stirred.
So Majora's Mask also got a release date.
Yeah.
Same day as the new 3DS. And
February, what is it?
February 13th.
Yeah.
And
Happy Valentine's
yay.
Day.
It also, they announced that the C-Stick on the new 3DS will allow you to control the camera. So that's nice
Yeah.
because I can't
Camera
imagine.
controls
Yeah,
were
exactly.
always tough on the N64.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. So you are getting
Yeah.
you're going to buy the game and the system.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what they forced my hand on that one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get them both. But I've been waiting, right? Because that's the thing. Smash on the go has always sounded really cool, right? And as much as we're traveling this upcoming year to be able to play Smash with you, fool around in an airport, right?
With the C-Stick?
Yeah, fool around with that
Ooh,
C-Stick.
I
Yeah,
love it.
But it's time for me to pull the trigger, especially because I've held on to this original 3DS forever.
Yeah. See, I'm in a weird place because I have an XL.
Yeah.
And I love it. I don't play it that much. Just whenever a new game comes out,
Yeah.
I play. So I'm just like, ugh. I might try to sell mine.
Okay.
If I can sell mine for 100, I'd be down to invest another 100 to get the better one.
Yeah.
What about you, Colin? Any chance in hell?
No, definitely not. But I have a 3DS and it's fine. I play it like twice a year. So I mean, I'm not going to buy a 3DS for a new game. Although I'm really excited that Majora's Mask is coming out. That's my favorite Zelda. By
Mine too.
far.
I haven't gone back to it in forever.
And
It's
yeah.
not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites.
And like
Ocarina of Time.
I really
And
like
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is a really special game, and I think not a lot of people. I mean, if you look at the sales figures, Majora's Mask sales in fall 2000 fell off significantly from fall 98 when Ocarina came out. And obviously Ocarina was the game changer like Mario 64 was, but I think frankly that both of those games are wildly overrated, and that the iteration, like the way they were able to iterate later on, not necessarily with maybe Sunshine with Mario, but maybe with Galaxy. That's the real, 3D Mario game. That's like the bee's knees. With the same thing, like Majora's Mask made so quickly and so rapidly, like literally within a year. ended up being, to me, the seminal Zelda game because it was dark and it was different. And the confines of the way they made the game quickly made them make different decisions that changed the entire game. It's really much like the Minish Cap, and I think just a select few different Zelda games. It's like Zelda 2. It's different. It's a really different Zelda game. It's dark as hell. It's imminent. I love how the clock's constantly ticking. You cannot dick around in that game. And I think that that's like really exciting to me. A lot of people are like, well, I want to see things leisurely at my own pace. And I'm like, I like doing that too, but Majora's Mask doesn't let you do that. And that's what's so cool about it.
You've had so many Zelda games where you could do that, right? I always talk about this, like, my introduction to Zelda was Ocarina of Time. And I fell in love with it and was so in love with it. And I loved Majora's Mask. And then ever since then, I feel like, don't get me wrong, loved Wind Waker, and I'm not a revisionist. I loved it at the time and tried to make people understand how
a lot of
great
revisionist history
was.
about that game.
I know, but I just want to make sure you and I have talked about it. I want to make sure you're not throwing stones at me. People don't think you're throwing stones at me. But from then on out, if I get so sick of the same story, and that's why I think I loved, and I think so many people loved A Link Between Worlds, right? Of just the fact, like, fuck it. Like, you immediately get a sword and shield, go to the dungeons. Go do whatever you want. You don't have to go through, oh, you're a boy without a fairy, and here's your wood sword and wood shield.
But yeah, that was, I mean, you played A Link to the Past, I assume?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was actually disappointed. Like, A Link Between Worlds was a fun game, and I enjoyed it. I played over last year when I was home. I don't remember exactly when I did it. Yeah, it was Christmas, so 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but I'm like, this is A Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
See,
like
but
it is A Link to, and I was like, so it was a little reductionist to me. I was like,
I played Link to the Past on my SP in college, so after it, right? And so for me, that game didn't even click with me the way it did for so many people growing up that it did.
oh, that's a special game.
Yeah, so like, for me to jump into this one, when I was playing it and having such a great time, I remember I'd come into work and Jose would talk to me like, oh, did you like this theme and that thing? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't catch any of these references to the old game. I'm just playing a game.
I mean, the map's identical. Like that. I mean,
I knew, yes, but
what was so cool about Majora's Mask was that, Hyrule in Ocarina, like Ocarina was a special game. I think that game is one of N64's great games, obviously, and like it was very riveting. I remember playing with my friend Mike Pope, and we were 98, and we were just obsessed with it. It was so good. And we had the strategy guy, and it was fun. But Majora's Mask was cool because it wasn't Hyrule, it was Termina, and it was just a different world with a different vibe and a darker vibe, and an emphasis on different things, on transformations, on rapidity. I loved how, like, in the 72 hours or whatever in game that you have to do that, you have to be in specific places at very specific times to get certain masks, and like a dude will just run by on the second day at 2:00 in the afternoon, and you're like, you have to be there and wait, and he'll be there, and then you have a conversation with him, do a side quest. Like, they've never made a game like that for Zelda, and I actually think that as I get older, the offbeat Zelda games, with the exception of Minish Cap, which I didn't really like, and was cool. It was cool. It was definitely different.
Yeah.
But like Zelda 2 and Majora's Mask, like the older I get, the more I'm like, these are great games. Like, that I don't think people really appreciated because they deviated heavily from the formula. Although that was common in the NES era to deviate on the second game.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel the same way about Mario 2, where it gets shat on a lot, but it's just like, guys, it's not bad. I mean, it's not Mario 3, but it's like, I love that game. I love that game so much, and it's so good for what it is, even though it's different.
Yeah, I agree. Mario USA is like an awesome game. I mean, like, when you look at the Mario 2 they got in Japan, I mean, that's lost levels to us, and we got that game, and it's cool, but it's the same. It's just hard Mario. I mean, it's
which is great.
which is awesome.
You love a hard Mario.
But I agree. I mean, like, a lot of second games really changed. Castlevania did it. Zelda obviously did it. I mean, a lot of games just Metal Gear did it. I don't know, a lot of people remember, the original Metal Gear. ActRaiser did it. Like, there's a lot of early games that changed for better or for worse. I think for worse with Metal Gear and ActRaiser.
Pretty much all. I don't think there's any example where it was better.
I think Castlevania. I think Simon's Quest is an awesome game. Simon's Quest is really the precursor in many ways to Symphony of the Night. But and I think even Zelda's change was awesome. I kind of think Zelda 2 is a better game than the original Zelda. It's just that the Zelda is yeah, I think it's like really, it's hard, it's fun, it's non-linear,
it's great, and it's good, but it's the same thing as Mario, where it's like, I wouldn't say it's better. It's just, it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's different. Yeah. But Zelda, Legend of Zelda, 87 Zelda, 86 Zelda, whatever, is A Link to the Past, and then Ocarina, and then on and on and on. While Zelda 2 is just Zelda 2. Yeah. And they've never done it again. And that's what
same thing with Majora's Mask.
Exactly.
It's just like, it's its own thing.
And that's why I really hope that, people out there that didn't play Majora's Mask and own an N64, maybe pass by it, really play it on 3DS, or get it on the virtual console, whatever, because that game, man, like, there's a lot of revisionist history about Majora's Mask too, just like there's about Wind Waker, because I loved Wind Waker when it came out as well. And a lot of people, Zelda, a lot of people remember that from the message boards back in the day, calling it Zelda very derogatorily. And Majora's Mask. A lot of people were like, "This game is dark," and I don't care about N64 anymore.
I don't care about the moon.
I hope people out there really give it a chance. But I'm gonna buy the Majora's Mask re-release. I'm just gonna play it on my 3DS.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna regret that.
I remember I bought it.
Just because the screen's so small. I'm not saying because you.
I bought Majora's Mask from my friend, and I didn't have an expansion pack, so I just bought the cart from him, and I was stupid and young and didn't understand, and I was like, "What is happening?" And eventually, I figured it out.
The opposite happened to me in high school. So I was a senior. I was done with Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask and Dr. Mario were the last two N64 games I bought. Dr. Mario was a really late release,
That was
right?
really late.
Yeah, I think so. I think those were
You didn't wait for Conker?
those were the two last ones. I think Conker was after Majora's Mask.
Yeah, Conker was like the light at the end of the tunnel, and I had to give up on it.
So that was like
I can't
2001,
wait.
I guess.
Can't do this. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, no,
gotta
I
get
didn't.
out.
I didn't buy Conker. So yeah, Majora's Mask and I think Dr. Mario came out in the fall of 2000. I think those were the last two games I bought. And in spring of 2001, right? Yeah, I was in high school. I had a friend of mine who borrowed my Majora's Mask, and borrowed my expansion pack and gave me Majora's Mask back later, but never gave me my expansion pack back. And to this day, my N64 doesn't have an expansion pack. Although I don't think I played N64, much after that. So
That was the end of that.
I think the last game that I remember coming out on the N64 was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, and I was like, guys,
also like a port.
just stop. Like it's over.
over.
Give it up.
Let it go.
So speaking of old games coming back, Wii games are coming to Wii U. So you've been able to play Wii games if you put the disc in and go into Wii mode on the Wii U and play the game. It's a rigmarole. But now you can buy them at discounted price to play straight from the Wii U, like downloaded version.
And some of these are rare games.
So we got Mario Galaxy 2, Punch Out, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah, so Metroid Trilogy is like going for like $100 on disc. So,
but that's the thing, not anymore. Like it's the
did they
GameSpot
reprint it?
did a re-release
okay.
of it, so it's like the original like steel case version is you can still sell that for a lot of money, but you can get the game pretty easily if you wanted to, because they did reprints. But
really good games.
These games are coming out, and I don't know what the American price is. It's like £20,
So like $30, $35.
and it'll be half off the first week they're up. So that's cool. And right now, Galaxy 2 is live. So
Can I play Galaxy 2 with the Pro controller?
So they said that not all of these things, but some of them you can, and they make it sound like Mario Galaxy 2 is one of them.
It's funny though, because I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that very much, but to me, Galaxy and Galaxy 2, which are both 10s to me, like
me
those
too.
games are just
So
absolutely immaculate. Those are immaculate. I remember being so blown away by Galaxy. Like,
And then 2 comes out, and you're like, holy crap, you did it again.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it's a really awesome game, and I think that those are the rare games where I was like, I didn't mind playing with the nunchuck because, it's just
felt
whatever.
intuitive.
Yeah, it did. It really didn't bother me.
I was bothered. I was ready to be done with it.
Oh, man, you're crazy, Greg. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, all right, cool. This is not what I wanted at all. Like,
What do you want?
I would want an HD remastered edition of Galaxy 1 and 2 together.
Gotcha.
Like,
They're still cooking on that.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I mean, this is like not a good sign for that.
No, I agree with Tim, actually. In the sense that, I think that the resources for whatever 3D Mario team is obviously they're making a new one. So
I don't want them to make it. I want them to make a real Mario game. I want
So you want like a
else.
second or
Whoever
third party
made the Wind
Blue
Waker.
Point. You want Blue Point out there doing it.
Yeah, who did do the Wind Waker port? I don't even know.
I
who
don't know.
did. Blue Point
Miyamoto all
did.
by himself.
But like whoever did that, I want them to do a Galaxy 1 and 2 thing. And here's the other thing. Just Galaxy 2? All right. Let me play one of the games.
Yeah.
The better one, in my opinion. But really? I don't know. It's upsetting.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll trickle more games out or whatever. I'd like to see some third-party Wii games on there as well, but Zack and Wiki would be a nice one.
Zack and Wiki.
It's one of my favorite.
Wow,
That's one of my favorite Wii games.
You want to talk about IGN campaigning for a game? Mark Bozon, Matt Casmassina.
That game was awesome.
I know Zack and Wiki was great, but they were like
It was hard as
beating
hell.
the drum on. Yeah, that was the main thing people underestimated.
That game
Oh,
was
it's
really
so cute. It's gonna be fun for everybody again. Like, how the hell do I open this chest?
But yeah, that game was cool. It would be cool. And I want to give I hope that on Wii U eventually. One of the coolest games I think that was maybe didn't really pan out very well, but it was interesting and I enjoyed just kind of experiencing was Endless Ocean. And I know they made I think a second one, but I'd like to see them like really explore that again, do it with the gamepad and kind of do something intuitive and cool because that was a really nice idea for a game. So it would be cool to see them do something like that again. That was really unique.
I never played it.
That was a really unique game. It was just you were just in the water, just doing your thing, just hanging out, swimming around, like finding fish.
So was it like Echo?
Echo the Dolphin?
Yeah.
No, because Echo the Dolphin had like a point to it, and like a beginning and an end. Endless Ocean was Endless Ocean. But yeah, no, it was. I remember being so excited when I got that game.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was like when I was still in my Wii mode, and I was, but it was cool. It was just
Wii
weird.
mode.
It was just a weird, trippy game. Yeah.
The last bit of news is the first Nintendo cross-buy game, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So you can buy it. It's on 3DS. It's on the Wii U. Cool.
Does it do anything for you?
It doesn't do anything.
What
for
is
me.
what is the gameplay of Mario vs. Donkey Kong?
It's like the old Donkey Kong games,
Okay.
kind of. And then yeah, it's just like, do you ever play the Game Boy Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
Just expanded and like
Okay,
crazy
just making
missions
sure.
and stuff. I'm happy it's cross-buy. Like that's a step
Yeah.
somewhere.
It's a step in a direction.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if cross-buy is a PlayStation trademark term. Do you
I'm
think?
sure when it's hyphenated and both are uppercase, yes, but outside of that, no.
Yeah.
I
It's like,
wonder.
what, isn't it? Yeah, Marvel has the trademark on superheroes spelled a certain way, and it's like, all right, well,
Really?
yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Next up, Microsoft wants to bring back classic Rare franchises.
That'd be great.
And there's a lot of things going towards this right now. Like last week, one of the composers of Rare's music
Yeah.
said that 2015 is going to be a really big year for them. And then now, this Microsoft dude, he's saying like, dude, Banjo-Kazooie, Battletoads, Perfect Dark, Viva Pinata, they're going to come someday. They're just trying to find developers passionate about the projects. This is cool.
It is cool. I have questions about. It's clear what IP they own and what IP came with them when Microsoft bought them and what didn't. What I'm most curious about is, especially like their most prolific output in terms of games made was during the NES era. They made like 25 games, and a lot of people don't realize that for some reason.
Yeah, what were some of the...
I mean, their biggest games on NES were Wizards and Warriors, but they did like Cobra Triangle and Snake Rattle and Roll, and like they did a bunch of shit, Anticipation, like a lot of games. I'm curious like how far back the ownership is attached with the IP to Rare. In other words, Nintendo published a lot of their games, and they made games for Amiga and stuff too, but I wonder who owns Wizards and Warriors. Like that would be, you don't hear that name thrown around very much.
Yeah.
I have to assume that Nintendo owns that name, but that was their like. Everyone always talks about Jet Force, Gemini, or something like that. Like is like really, or Donkey Kong Country, like when they really became Rare. But like Wizards and Warriors was huge, and a lot of people forget that they made those games. So I'd love to see them go way back to Wizards and Warriors, and do something like that, or do Cobra Triangle, or something really, really wild and weird. But who the hell owns those IPs? Are long dormant. So
Can you imagine seeing a trailer for Xbox One Wizards and Warriors?
that'd be awesome. Like
that would be insane.
That would be like it would be so cool. Like a almost like a MOBA or something. You could do like whatever you wanted with
Yeah.
that, but they're gonna have problems because Rare's talent. I mean, they're still very talented. I don't mean to disparage people at Rare. They're very talented people over there, but the talent that made those games that people love are long gone. And
Then it's just an empty shell, right, of the title, and then it's trying to live up to that. That's the problem. Like, remember when they re-released GoldenEye?
Yeah.
And everybody was leading up to like GoldenEye's back, yeah, and then nobody cared when it came out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that wasn't Rare though.
Sure.
That was the
I know.
opposite side of the issue. But yeah, I mean, Killer Instinct, people like that. Like the fans of it
Yeah.
are into it. Like Destin loved Killer Instinct.
Sure.
but
It was
did
super-
Rare do Killer Instinct, the new one? Because I thought that was the guys that did the Borderlands 2 port.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same issue then.
Dave
Twin
Lang's
Galaxies.
company.
Twin Galaxies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Iron Galaxy.
Or not Iron Galaxies.
Iron
Twin
Galaxies,
Galaxies is the leaderboard.
Yeah.
The
They didn't do
arcade
anything.
leaderboard.
They
No,
didn't do
no.
anything.
Iron Galaxy. That's right. Iron
Yeah.
Galaxy.
So, but Rare did the Viva Pinata
Yeah.
on last gen, and
And Viva Pinata is a game a select group of people really love and talk about. I mean, Christine Steimer loves that game.
Yeah,
You know
Alfredo
what I mean?
Diaz.
Like, yeah, right.
loves that
Making
game.
caterpillars make out. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody loves it. But like, and that would be an easier one to come on to. But I mean, to come on to Battletoads, to come on to Perfect Dark, and
Yeah,
try to make
Battletoads
these
is-
games, like, are you?
Oh, yeah, and Perfect Dark. It's like
Perfect Dark Zero, that was a huge hit.
yeah. I feel like, and they even were specifically talking about like maybe making Perfect Dark a third person like stealth game. And it's like that could have some potential. Like the characters in the world of Perfect Dark, they're fun and cool. I just don't know if they're, still primed for 2015. Like those are definitely some 90s ass characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's interesting. I think KI was the really interesting kind of case study in terms of that was clearly an IP that Microsoft received with the acquisition of Rare. Rare was clearly smart enough, I guess, to hold on to those IPs when they were making those games for SNES. But what does it mean that they didn't even make Killer Instinct? Like, in other words, what is the involvement of, like, it's almost like when they bought Rare, they got the IP that was way more valuable than the studio, and like to me, Rare doesn't mean anything anymore. So it's like, who cares? Like in a way, it's like take the IP and give them Rare is maybe capable of making these games, but they've not been allowed the chance to shine. They've been making like Kinect adventures and like weird things like that. It's like, why would you ever do that to that studio? You just gutted that studio and gutted its legacy. So take the games and give them the studios that have shown capability of treating them kindly, like Jet Force Gemini or Banjo. Obviously, like, it doesn't have to be Rare. Like, the IP is more valuable than the Rare name at this point.
Right.
Like, there are kids that grew up have no idea what Rare is.
They kind of know that. This is all about them wanting to bring back the franchises and finding the right fits to make those games. So I think that could be cool. Like, for me specifically, Battletoads. Like, just the idea of playing a Battletoads now excites me. Like, I just like them as characters and like that world. It's Ninja Turtles, but it's not Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Cool. Sign me up.
Yeah,
unlockable in the game would be the original game, of course.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, great. I wonder. I really wonder the resonance that a lot of these. I think as we get older, I think especially Greg and I, like, we're just old. Like,
we are old.
Battletoads meant something back in the day, like when it came out in NES. I mean, that NES game, as we talked about, is just notoriously hard. Game's bullshit, but like, it's like one of the few games I can go back and it just beats my ass. That motorcycle or that, like, everyone knows that part. Yeah. But to me, it's like, what value does Battletoads really have today? Microsoft has to be very smart with what they do. Like, Battletoads doesn't mean anything anymore. Like it might be cool, but it's like.
It'd be like DuckTales remastered.
I was just about to say, DuckTales is a perfect example. Where
everybody gets super stoked and makes the video, and oh my god, it's back, and then it comes on, it doesn't make any waves.
And no one plays.
Yeah.
No one. Really
and
plays.
it was good, but it wasn't like the original's way better. And that was like a frame for frame remake of the original. It wasn't even like a new game. So it was a new game in its own way, but it was the same same kind of thing. Yeah. And so to me, I wonder, like, how far back can you really conceivably go? You were talking about Wizards and Warriors. That would be funny, but like, that doesn't mean anything to anyone. The Battletoads doesn't mean anything to anyone. Cobra Triangle doesn't mean anything to anyone. You have to maybe go back to Donkey Kong Country, but obviously Donkey Kong's really with retro now. You have to, so it's like, can you go back to Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark? They ruined Perfect Dark with that Xbox 360 launch game. You know what I'm saying?
At this
It's like,
point,
what
you're
are
taking developers and you're like, can you make a third-person shooter? All right, make it Perfect Dark. And it's like, well, just let them make a game. Like, if we're starting from scratch, or there's going to be so much baggage to the name that either it's going to be, oh, last Perfect Dark sucked, or I remember Perfect Dark 1964 and I loved it. Like, either way, there's now a stigma attached to it. Just let them make a game.
Yeah. I think Banjo-Kazooie, too. It's like, everyone wanted another one, and they did the one last
Nuts and
gen,
bolts.
And it just wasn't what people wanted. And it's like, well, that could have just been a different franchise completely, and people might have enjoyed it a bit more.
Yeah. If you didn't have
but
those
then there's the other
expectations.
side of it. Well, maybe it did as well as it did
Because of the
just
name.
because of Banjo. But
I mean, the beauty of this situation for Microsoft is that, and you see this with the Phantom Dust, announcement, which is a game that sold like fewer than 100,000 copies, but it's getting like a remake. The Microsoft seems eager now that it's kind of gotten older. Microsoft's an old company from the Albuquerque days in the late 70s, but the in terms of Xbox 2001, really when it became when it was really a thing, they look like they want to celebrate their heritage a little bit more. And the beauty is that they can't go much further back than Halo, but they can with Rare because of the IP they own, and it seems like that is they have the propensity and the eagerness to do that where they can and when they can. So. And Phantom Dust is the obvious thing to that. Although the Blinks IP kind of going away, because Blinks is their trademark on Blinks is expired, so they're obviously not making a new one, which is the other IP that people always talked about.
Right.
In other words, like, they're not old enough to have like ancient IP, but Rare is, and so I think that they just want to go back and see like what they can do. But I agree with you guys in the sense that it's just smarter to make a new game and use your talented developers internally and second party to make what they want to make. It doesn't have to be like Phantom Dust is interesting, but what is it doing? Like, why lock it into that? Why not let them just make an RPG that they want to make?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I would want just like a small. I don't need a full like crazy retail game, but like a Battletoads that's just like a downloadable game. That's what I want. I just want a small little bit for the thousands of people that do care about it and do remember.
Yeah.
Because you're right. We're not gonna win new people over with Battletoads, but I mean, like, it'll be fun.
I mean, it'll be cool. It'll be the zeitgeist for a little while for old people.
Yeah.
But you don't want, like,
it's the same thing like Killer
you don't need
Instinct.
Greg and I. You need your 15-year-old kids, and like, Killer Instinct was cool, and it was a different kind of model, and people liked it. And it was a sound fighting game, but again, that was a weird. I mean, Killer Instinct never had like. There's some revisionist history there too, because Killer Instinct, Killer Instinct was cool. Clay Fighters was cool. All these random ass games that came out in the mid '90s that were fighting games, but no one cared about them really. Like, it was
cool to watch the fatalities, or whatever the hell they call them, that weren't fatalities.
Like everyone liked Street Fighter, and everyone liked Samurai Showdown stuff. Like, those were the serious fighting games, not Killer Instinct. So again, it's like going back and like making something new again that wasn't really that exciting to begin with.
But it's the same thing as DuckTales, because I remember at E3 when we first saw a trailer, everyone lost their shit. They're like, "Oh my god, it's Killer Instinct!" And then no one played it. So I don't know. Next up, the PS4 is now bundled with Last of Us.
Ooh.
$400. I like this.
Yeah.
That's a very, very smart move on their part. So my
Might have been
question
smarter
you
to do
guys-
it when you launched the game, but
Yeah, exactly.
I
My question to you guys,
understand.
How
Sure.
important is this? Do you think this will last forever? Because some sites have worded this is that this is a forever thing.
Yeah.
It seems like they made it, as far as when I read the blog, the PlayStation blog, it seemed like that was the status quo for now, was that the game just comes with the system.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, how important are game console bundles?
These days, I don't think they're that important. Back in the day, they were hugely
They were,
important
yeah,
because
big
games
deal.
were way more expensive. So, like, when you bought an NES in 1986 for $200, adjusted for inflation, that's like $370, $380. And then the cartridges were $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, depending on how big the game was, which is all of those would be more expensive than any game released today. So the bundle of like Mario Duck Hunt or Mario Duck Hunt Track Meet and all those kinds of stuff later on Mario 3, like those mattered because it saved people real money.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying $60 today is not real money, but I'm saying like it was a little more, it was a little crazier back then. Cartridges were really expensive. I think that the further you get along, bundles became less and less important. Super Nintendo bundles were important. Sonic with Genesis is arguably the most important bundle ever released. In the sense of that, everyone forgets Genesis came out in '89. 2 years before
Beast.
SNES came out, it came with Altered Beast, which is arguably one of the worst games of all time. And that game sucks.
Away from your
Have you ever played Altered Beast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that game
yeah.
fucking sucks.
Not a fan.
That game's like literally a 1.
Yeah.
SNES came out and Genesis was going to lose, and Sonic turned their fortunes around bundling that in. And it almost acted they just pretended like the console never existed.
Yeah. It was a relaunch.
Yeah,
It was brand new. Yeah.
And so that was a really important thing. But it's time. And then Mario with N64 But today it's like, no, I don't really think it matters.
The thing nowadays is that there's so many bundles. You know what I mean? They come along and we're coming off this thing right now. You had the Destiny PS4 bundle, and you had another one. There was a buy one get one at during Christmas and the holidays. I think it's important right now in terms of people who have been on the fence. Here's this game that's a perfect 10. It's a game of the year, arguably a masterpiece. Everybody loves this game, and now it's in there. So if you were waiting, you're like, $400 seems a lot for just a system, and I'm not interested in Destiny. Now that it's packed in, right? It's like, well, all right. Because I remember, I forget what console it was where I was buying it. My mom was like, "There's no game in this." You know what I mean? Like that is to a non-gamer, somebody who's just knows a little bit about video games. It is an interesting proposition. It is more value, arguably, than what you were getting. out of it before.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of value there. But I think that the exciting thing about The Last of Us coming with PS4 is that The Last of Us is a 10. The Last of Us is arguably the best PlayStation exclusive of all time. It's arguably the best PS3 game, best PS4 game. Naughty Dog's best game. It's a lot of bests, and it's the best regular bundled in game, not like a special kind of offer or whatever, since maybe like Super Mario World. So it's like that's pretty significant. I think it's going to get people in the door. The cooler thing for Sony is that, from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense because it's a first-party game. They don't have to pay licensing fees. They don't owe anything to Naughty Dog to put it in the box. They're going to get more copies out there, which will inflate their sales numbers. So there's a lot of reasons for them to do it as well. It's not like it's they're bundling in Battlefield or something, and then they have to split the money with DICE and EA. It's basically it's not free money. They just don't have there's a negligent cost, and they're just proliferating
It's a
the
good
console.
number booster.
Exactly.
In general,
with 18.5 million PS4s out there, probably more like 19 million now. They're just trying to saturate the market, and they're doing a really nice job. I mean, the market saturation 14 months in is just as good as it was with Wii 14 months in, although Wii was heavily supply constrained. So it's a nice move. It's a good move. It's a logical move, and I wouldn't expect that it's going to be the last time Sony does this. It's just 2015 looks a little barren right now for exclusives for Sony. I think that a lot of their studios are not ready yet. I think Media Molecule's not ready. I don't think Guerrilla's ready with their new game. Obviously, they're going to probably make a new Killzone. Polyphony's not ready. So, we have The Order and we have Bloodborne, which both come from second-party studios that are exclusive, and the only first-party exclusive that we know about that's coming out in 2015 is Uncharted, which Greg and I don't, especially Greg doesn't think it's even going to come out in 2015. So this is a nice way to say, here's a game.
something.
And, relax and enjoy yourself and get online and spend some time with it.
Yeah. I think the most important bundle ever is the Wii with Wii Sports. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's
a
actually
great
really
point.
good point. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Because that's the one that no one wanted that. No one everyone was excited for it, but I don't think the majority of people would have bought the Wii and bought that game But the fact that it came with it, everyone played it. Everyone had that shared experience, and I think that that's really kind of what got the fervor up about the Wii.
Yeah, it's
that's the one that proved
fantastic game.
That's the one that I always talk about, right? I bought my Wii for the Virtual Console and for Zelda and for the laundry list of other games. And when I brought it home, and that's what my mom wanted to play. That's what we all played because it was this cool thing, make this character. And then when she found out that's bundled with the system, right?
Yeah.
Like that was it, and that's why the attach rate was so terrible on the Wii. Is you had all these casual gamers flood the market to buy it and never need to buy a game.
Yeah, they essentially were buying the Wii Sports machine.
It was one toy.
Yeah.
It was the Wii Sports toy.
Yeah. My first bundle was my first console ever, which was the Super Nintendo that came with Mario All-Stars Plus World, which my favorite cart of all time. If I had to choose my favorite video game and it had to be one physical thing, it would be that. Because you get Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 2 America, Mario 3,
Mario 2 America,
and Mario World.
Well, Mario 2, our Mario 2 is called Mario USA in Japan. But it's 5 great games.
Yeah.
Well, Lost Levels isn't. I don't know if it's a great game.
It's I love it.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's just like a mod. But
it's like a ROM hack.
But yeah, Wii Sports. That's a great point. That's a really great point. And Wii Sports is the best selling game of all time because of that. So it's kind of tricky in that sense. But yeah, that was the proving ground. At the same time, it was the reason why people bought the console, and the attach rate ended up being abysmal and stuff like that. So it was a kind of a blessing and a curse. But I think it's a blessing for Nintendo in terms of their bank account because they have like $15 billion plus in cash on hand from the success of the Wii and the DS. Yeah, it's a nice point. That's a nice point. Yeah, but I think bundles generally, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm older and we have we have disposable income now, which we didn't when we were kids, and maybe our perspective is just a little skewed because of that. But this is exciting, and it's a zero. It's kind of like it doesn't add any cost to it. It just gives you more value, and so that's always nice. But is that going to get anyone to buy a PS4? I don't know. Maybe. I feel like everyone's played The Last of Us.
Yeah, but there's people on the fence for sure who are waiting or not, right? You know what I mean? Like that didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't want to jump into. They're waiting to see how it all pans out. Not to know that you get this amazing game right off the bat. I think it helps.
Is Last of Us the right game for that though?
In terms of, here's the problem with PlayStation 4's lineup in general is I don't think there's a title you can put in there that makes sense to everyone. Super Mario World makes sense to everyone. Wii Sports makes sense to everyone. My friend hit me up the other day and he's like, my son, 7 years old, is getting into video games. What console would you recommend? And I was like, well, and I went through all of them. Like, I guess the Wii U, honestly, because like they have 2 kids who are younger, or 3 actually now, that are all going to come up and want to play stuff too. And it's the multiplayer machine, and it's cutesy for everybody, and this, that, and the other.
And it's good.
And he's like, and it's good. Yeah. I'm not saying all that. But I mean the fact that Mario appeals to all ages, right? Whereas I'm like, there's good games here, and there's multiplayer stuff on PS4, but I'm thinking it's Towerfall Ascension, and it's bloody, and it's got arrows, and he's like, yeah, that's not what we're gonna want to do and stuff. And he was looking to future proof, right? Like buy a console, but it's like he's not an only child, and he's not entering his teens anytime soon. So it really seems like the Wii U would be the right way to go because I just can't wrap my head around coming up with a bunch of fun, family-friendly games for the PS4 or Xbox One that are ages 7 and down. You know what I mean? And then even if you want to go up a couple years, 10 and down. Like it was like, I don't know if that's the right investment for you guys.
Yeah. So I think it's a little different these days, where it's not so much that the game and console matter. I think that the people use it more to sell different collector's editions of the consoles, and I think that started last gen, really, with Halo and stuff. When I think the Halo Elite. So there's the Elite,
green one?
For Halo 3.
Yeah.
But then there was the Elite edition, the black Xbox 360.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, even going back to N64, well, Donkey Kong 64 had the green N64, the green, come on.
The Pikachu one.
Legit.
Yeah, they had a bunch of them. They had a lot of them.
Pikachu,
Yeah.
horrendous looking monstrosity.
That's what both is cool and sucks about the industry, right? Is that like we jump on board, we're super excited, and then down the line there's going to be these amazing additions. I was going to look at the Xbox 360 Slim model that then they did the R2-D2 one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't even care that much about Star Wars, but that is a dope system.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? Like, that's really cool looking. And then, now you're getting into it with, like, we saw the PS4 Dragon Slime, or Dragon Quest Slime, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stuff. That was like, all right, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's
Or the
awesome.
Frozen
It's awesome.
PS4.
Yeah, your Frozen PS4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Metal
but
Gear
so-
PS4.
So like Alfredo, he loves Halo, and I remember every single time a new Halo would come out, there'd be the new one. He's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. And I feel like now it's even more interesting, where with both Xbox One and PS4, there's the white versions with the bundles. They're the Sunset Overdrive and the Destiny. And it's just like, that's great for the people that were on the fence, because I think that is the game changer. It's, I was on the fence and I get the new cool fancy one.
Right.
And man, it's crazy how that works. When you have one, you want the other so bad. It's just like, that's crazy, because most of these people, when the Wii came out, they wanted the black one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's like complete opposite. Why? Just because you had the other one.
Oh, the consumer, we're all consumers. We're all fickle.
Yeah.
So it goes that way. That's why I just don't get involved in like with the PS, that beautiful PS4 anniversary edition is awesome, but like people are so excited about it. I was like, I don't know, it's fine. Like the innards are the same. I'm not like bringing people over, be like, hey, check out my PS4. Isn't this
that
great?
That was the first new console that I can think of where I was like, I will buy that. And then of course, I couldn't buy it, but I would have bought that one.
Boy, did we try!
I would have bought that one, not to flip and sell, but just to have, because I did like that one enough to be like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're all cool. It's just like you put the PS4 innards inside an Atari. I don't care. Like
it's gonna go on your entertainment shelf, and you're not gonna see the detail and do all these cool things with it. But it's like, God, that's really cool.
What I wanted the most from it was just the boot up sound, and they gave us that on
the
other ones. So I was like, all right, I can deal with this. But I wanted that. I remember the day that it came out, I refreshed that page. I was up. There was like a 4-hour period of me trying to get that damn thing.
Yeah, you and everyone else in the friggin' world.
Yeah. But I didn't stop. I was
PlayStation experience is just people wandering around looking at their phones like, it's in my cart, but I can't get it.
Yeah. Oh man, that was hard. All right. Last topic for today. Now, this is an ever-evolving show.
Right.
So let us know what you think about it. We're trying to do something different than the Game Over Greggy show, which is each of us bring a topic. This is more just looking at the news and then trying to divide it up into 4 topics. What I want to try today is the last topic being a bunch of little tidbits of news. So we can
the
just talk
light
about
timning round.
Hodgepodge.
Light Tim? It's like light
trying.
but
Yeah,
with my
trying.
name. All right, I'll take it. So we're gonna start off with news that I really care about. You know what? Let's just call this section the news I care about. The news Tim cares about.
The Timmening.
Yes. Kingdom Hearts 3 coming in 2015, according to Goofy.
No way.
There's no way in hell that game's coming out this year.
So that's the thing. We talked about this on the show 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the games we're excited for in 2015, and I named this game because they're pretending it's going to come out this year.
Oh, they're pretending good. They're doing a good pretend game here.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it's going to happen. But it's crazy that they would let this happen, where they'd somehow let a voice actor say this stuff.
That's the problem, is you can't rein voice actors in. You have so much going on with that game, let alone a language barrier, let alone the da-da-da-da-da. By the time you get out to these voice actors, I totally get that. It's like, who said what?
Yeah.
All right. They don't. I mean, they're not.
What am I allowed to say? What am I not allowed to say? Yeah.
And that's why, like, when we were talking to Troy yesterday on the, Colin and Greg Live, and then the Game Over Greggy show, that question was like, I don't know how much you can say on this, because I got to imagine for them it's incredibly hard to keep that straight.
Yeah.
And it's so easy when you're at an event for someone, you're promoting one game and someone feeds you a question about another game, and it's like, has that been? I've asked questions before, and I'm like, no, they talked about this here, and I have to cite my sources that I already know this exists. Like, oh, okay, then this is the answer,
Yeah, and going from the other side of it, we've been at IGN for so long, or we were at IGN for so long, that we get all this information. We know all this stuff. We talk about it day in and day out, and it's so familiar to us. And then someone else will be in the room, and we're talking about it as if everyone knows.
Right.
And it's like, oh, man. Or there'll be some other things where everyone just assumes that we know everything, even though we don't.
Yeah.
It's like, just because I work at IGN, I'm like, I do not know the inner workings of what Media Molecule is up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's hard for us to keep that kind of stuff straight for sure. And this is weird because Square might be playing an interesting game here where the game's ready, but it doesn't make any sense. Like that this Square is notoriously slow, and Kingdom Hearts 3, there's just no way that game can come out this year. Like, it doesn't make any sense unless they've been making it in secret for 4 years. It doesn't make any, and they just have another team that no one knows about, making it. Then I guess it's possible. The thing is that because of the language barrier and just the culture of Japanese game developers, secrets are very well kept over there. Mm-hmm. But him saying stuff like, well, my voice acting is done, of course it is. It should have been done 3 years ago. That's the first thing you do. The writer writes the game and you record the voices. It's like when you
But they do come back for pickups a lot.
That's true, but the game's written, the game is recorded like a cartoon, and then they animate and make the game. And
just they make if they need to.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that's if that's the reasoning, and I'm not necessarily saying that is the reasoning, but he does bring that up. That's not strong reasoning. The voices for The Last of Us were probably done. They did pickups, I'm sure, but I'm sure they recorded all the mocap and stuff literally 3 years before the game came out. It's not like it's not like it's that's like a monumental thing to cite, to say like, well, the game's coming out this year because my voices are done. You know?
Yeah.
But he's also saying that that's what he's heard from other people, and that's, I'm like, it's funny because Square has set the stage for it by releasing, as we said, HD Remix 1.5 and 2.5 in sequence to kind of bring everyone up to date on 3, and it would be a little weird for 3 to not come out this year in the sense that the gap would be very big in that if they didn't release it. But like, who the hell is making the game and where is it? Like, I don't understand that, with the way the teams for Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 seem to be mixed up.
Yeah.
And so one game has to come out first, and like they can work on both of them, and neither of them will come out, as we've seen with Versus. So I don't know. It's weird. That's a weird story to me.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I have a feeling that neither are coming out this year.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
And they're just acting like both are. But
I mean, are they like? It's funny because like what do we think they're doing that say that like this? Because this is kind of the way I've been interpreting it too when I've been talking to people. Like, what are they doing to act like they're coming out this year? Like it's like. They've been so cagey about 15. Like, that game is so weird to me.
Yeah.
That game is so weird. It looks weird. It looks beautiful, but it looks like a weird game. Game's been in development forever. They have new people on it doing their thing. It's, it's on its way. But it's like, to me, they're just being... I don't think Square Enix is being like acting like anything to me personally. I think they're just like being like, they don't know.
Things we're doing stuff.
It's coming. 55%.
Here's Final Fantasy 1310 if you wanted that.
Yeah.
But,
and everybody's like, no, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Stop, guys.
Yeah, I still think next year is 15 and 2017 is Kingdom Hearts, but
2017.
But
Man,
it's...
I hate how accurate that might be.
But I could be wrong. I said I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, and I hope I'm wrong because I know people are really eager for that game. People seem way more eager for Kingdom Hearts 3 than Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy's worn out its welcome lately.
Oh,
putting out all these games and not the games people
Tell me
want.
about
it. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts has been in limited supply, so people are still into it.
Well, no, it's the same thing with Kingdom Hearts. They're putting out all these games, and they're not the ones people want.
Yeah, but the core Kingdom Hearts games are the ones people want. Those 3DS or the DS games even are 365 over 2 days, whatever.
They're just trying to come up with as many different ways to not call it 3 as humanly possible. The thing with that is people keep getting on me about this. I'm not saying those are bad games. I know like so many people enjoy them, and the handful of them that I've played, I do like them. It's just I want the story to progress and it not just be like retreading similar ideas in the same worlds and stuff, just in like, oh, this one's a dream, and this one's a card game, and it's like, okay, give me the new stuff.
Yeah, I think they finally got the message, but I think they got the message too late, and so that's why I don't think the game comes out this year. It would be incredible. I'd be incredible if a game of that scope, you assume, could be done this quickly by a team that is working on another game.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right, next up, guys, Game Changer, Flappy Bird, coming to arcades.
To arcades.
Everything's coming out. I mean, have you been to Dave & Buster's? It's all iPhone games, Doodle Jump, and all this crap on there.
And that's the weirdest thing is I remember back in the day, arcades were a big deal.
That was the experience. That was the marquee experience. It's like what I'm always talking about with the movies, right? They'll be around. It'll just be different experiences there.
Exactly, and it's especially there was in the early '90s, arcades were huge, and then they kind of dipped off a bit. But then there was like a resurgence with the peripherals, with Dance Dance Revolution, Time Crisis. The skateboarding game where you actually stand on the skateboard.
Right.
Forgot what that was called. Top Skateboard or something like that. Anyways, like those were the games, like that was experiences you could not get at home.
Yeah.
So you had to go to these places and do these things because DDR you could play on the stupid shitty mat, but like actually being there
Stupid shitty mat.
on the real metal and stuff. Like, it was different. It was good. The boxing game before Wii and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, those were stuff that were worth the dollar, But now it's like, all right, those games that you play on your iPhone all day, you get to pay to play them here.
Right. On
Well,
this
I guess you
giant
pay
screen.
to play them on your phone too. But
Sure, but once usually.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
over.
the thing is, this all started from what I've seen with Guitar Hero. Like the moment I saw Guitar Hero in arcades, I was like, all right. I mean, Guitar Freaks, that's been in there. Like that was a staple in the late 90s,
Yeah.
and early 2000s.
But even I think Guitar Hero makes sense because there's a barrier to entry. You hear about Guitar Hero, you see somebody playing Guitar Hero, you're like, I'd love to try Guitar Hero. You can go out and do it there, right? But Flappy Bird's like the 99-cent investment you should have made when it was out.
Guitar Hero, when it got to arcades, it was Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah.
So it's like you played it.
You've played it by
yeah,
now.
like
Right.
so that was the beginning of the end. Well, arcades ended, but that was like just the sign of like, all right, this is not gonna go well for
the most
anybody.
Interesting arcade game I've seen in years was the Star Wars Battle Pod we saw at New York Comic Con, where you got in and it's like that IMAX like kind of wraparound screen and there's air blown in your face and like it was a very Japanese experience. Because when I went to Japan and played some of their arcade games, it's like rumbling seats and air blown in your face, and it's like, oh, I couldn't get this experience at home or on my phone or whatever. But when you walk in, it's just one big button for doodle jump. You're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I think this kind of thing shows just the lack of viability of an arcade. Generally, that big publishers and developers have no interest, with the exception, I guess, Bandai Namco making that game, of making new arcade games. Arcades are even closing. Prominent arcades, even in Japan, are closing, and it's rare to see. There's great places that have old arcade games and stuff like that. But in other words, for places that still somehow are holding on, like Dave & Buster's, that's what they have to do. They're not going to get new games from any worthwhile publishers and developers, so they have to go into these weird directions that are easily recognizable by people on dates in their early 20s, and like, oh, this is. But like, it's just another death throw of this industry,
But we were in LA and we went to a Dave & Buster's, and it was just like walking into a physical retail app store.
Yeah,
and it's just nuts. But the crazy thing about this game is literally one big red button.
Yeah,
and you just hit it.
Tap, 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 tap.
You get tickets for it though.
Oh, cool.
So good on them.
Brian Albert should go and clean up. He was good at Flappy Bird.
Yeah, Brian Albert was a little too good at Flappy Bird.
We called him Flappy Albert.
So we got two more quick things.
Okay.
One, GTA 5 PC version delayed to March 24th from January 27th.
Sort it out.
They say, apologize for the slight shift in the date, but the game requires a few extra weeks of testing and polish to make it as good as it can be. Moving a release date is never a decision we take lightly, and a choice we only make when we know it's in the best interest of the game and our fans. Thanks everyone for your understanding, and we assure you these few extra weeks will be worth it when the game does arrive in March. Good on them.
Yeah, of course.
Like, this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, this sucks, but
it's
guess
funny.
what? This game is going to last forever.
It's
for
crazy.
You guys.
And it's just weird that there's so. Like when it happened for me, obviously I'm a console fanboy, so I was like, whatever, and like big deal. Like it's still not out. That's weird. And then like to see people flipping out, I'm like, are this many of the people who are flipping out on Twitter really gonna play this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that there's a huge PC mod community. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that there aren't PC players, but I was seeing people I know who are heavily leaning console. People are like, oh my god, it's like. Seems like you're just reacting.
It's the internet. Everyone has to be angry about everything all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's good. I agree with you. Like in our patch in our patch heavy world, it's nice to see that, and I'm sure they'll still have a patch, but it's nice to see that they're taking the extra time, and I can't imagine how tired that team is. But like, just working on that game over and over again forever. But yeah, it's important that they get the PC port right because it's the one that's going to live the longest, and so for sure.
Right.
So it's really, really essential that they get it right with that, and I think they know that PC gamers are, I think, the hardest to please. That's nothing wrong with that, and that the mod community with Grand Theft Auto is going to be huge, and that the game must be polished. Nothing wrong with that at all. So just wait a few weeks. Well, who cares?
They released some screenshots of it too, and it's just like, oh man. This is pretty.
Yeah.
This is damn pretty. But yeah, so it's most important for the mods. And the people are going to be playing for years because of that. Another story about mods, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes got a first-person mod last week.
What was that noise?
And you just played the whole game in first person. And it just changes how the whole thing works and all that stuff. And I just love that. I love that. And that, people were really into it. People liked it and enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you can just take a game and completely change the perspective.
It's cool.
Does it break it like Twin Snakes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's cool. Like to me, that's weird because Metal Gear is a third-person game, so it's and that will always be a third-person game to me. Like I need to see Snake. I'm not Snake. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's first person's a perspective that was designed to immerse you and make you feel like you maybe are that character. You're seeing through that character's eyes. But I never played Metal Gear and thought I was seeing through anything but watching Snake because I'm not cool enough to be Snake.
Yeah.
Or whoever, Big Boss or whoever. It's like I'm not
Fat
cool.
Man.
I'm not.
You can pull off Fat Man.
I could. I would love to pull off Fat Man, but it's in other words, this Metal Gear was always a world that I wasn't immersed in as much as I was enjoying watching. And
it's
so,
like a movie.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I love it so much.
Made, like they even have the credit. I mean, it's always been made to be a movie. And
there's games like that are cinematic experiences. That Uncharted, Last of Us, that I don't want to ever try to be. I'd honestly probably love Call of Duty way more if the story mode was, if the campaign was third person. Because first person does lose me a lot. I have a really hard time connecting with first person games.
Now, something cool to think about here, though, is first person was added to GTA 5.
Right.
So now the mods are going to be able to do first person GTA crazy mods and stuff. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
You gonna play it? No, of course not. You're just gonna like to see the screenshots and see what's happening.
Yeah, no, I'm happy that people that's not my scene. I'm not a PC guy at all, but
you're a defender of the Wii U tablet, so yeah, you are not a PC guy.
Exactly, not at all. Anyways, thank you coolest dudes. in
Hey,
games.
thank you, Tim.
Thank you for watching. And thank you for going to iTunes and subscribing to this and watching it on YouTube or going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to support this show. Until next time, I'm Tim Gettys. It's Colin Moriarty. It's Greg Miller. That's Portillo. Nick Scarpino's out there. And you're beautiful.